Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, councillors. Welcome to the first full council meeting for Denby Parish Council for 2026 here in the Barn Green Room on Wednesday the 14th of January 2026. Time is 7:30 and we'll kick off with the agenda. First item is apologies, and I think, looking around the room, we have a full house of all councillors. So welcome and Happy New Year to you all. And so therefore no apologies, so great. Item number 2 on the agenda, declarations of interest. Arising from this agenda, members and officers are invited to declare any relevant interests. Notwithstanding this item, members may subsequently declare an interest at any point during the meeting. Do we have any declarations of interest on the agenda for this evening from the councillors?
I do. I'm going to co-opt out of the Working Party DCC conversation.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Vickers. That was...
We haven't got a DCC.
DCC Working Party. Have we?
So no, there's no DCC. No, there's no DCC.
No, you don't need to declare an interest.
I don't know, but you can't cancel out something that's not on there, Councillor Vickers. So thank you. All right. Do we have any other declarations of interest? Okay. No. Fine. Thank you. Sorry. Okay. Item 3. To receive the minutes of the previous full council meeting, to receive and confirm the accuracy of the minutes of the council meeting held on the 26th of November 2025. I was not present at that meeting, so I can't make a comment here, but for those of you that were present, can I have a proposal and a second on the minutes, please, for the 26th? Okay, show of hands. Yeah, okay, yep. Councillor Boland, Councillor Clay, proof, that's okay. Do we all okay with that, please? Show of hands, please. Yep, okay. Great. Thank you very much indeed.
Want to sign that?
Yep. This one?
Yeah.
I've got one in. That was the same. Okay, let's just sign and date those. 26, don't forget 26. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Item 4 on the agenda, Denby Parish Council projects. To note, ongoing project report from the parish clerk. To note, thank you.
Yep. So everyone should have a copy of that.
Got a copy of that in the pack. Item 5 on the agenda, resignation of councillors. For those of you that are not aware, we've received the resignations before and after Christmas from Councillor Selway and Councillor Bevan, to note on those as well. Item 6, public participation. This is the part of the meeting which will recess for not more than 15 minutes to allow any members of the public to address the meeting in respect of the items on this agenda. Good evening, members of the public. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak regarding any items on the agenda for this evening, please? Oh, a couple of hands, or 3 hands, beg your pardon. Ladies first, if I may, is that okay?
I'm a bit happy price on the project lead for the projects for Green Denby, and I just with the item about the community garden has been to and fro with this over some time. We've submitted a joint proposal with DCC. I just want to check. Don't intend going through it at all. I just want to ask, are there any questions? I hope that we've met everything and the requests in the previous meeting.
Okay, thank you. Do we address? We'll take all the questions and then we'll go back as do you want to take each individual? Take all the questions. I think Neil, you're doing next, I think.
Okay, thank you. I understand the council is considering whether to revive the summer party, which is something I believe many residents would welcome. Should the council wish to explore this further, the DVA, alongside maybe other community groups, could potentially support elements such as volunteers or coordination or whatever subject to committee capacity and approval. With around 6 months lead time and with the budget you have earmarked, this would realistically need to be obviously a slightly smaller scale project. And I have made very informal inquiries with last year's organiser to test her availability, and depending on timing and responsibilities, there may be some scope there, but obviously nothing has been discussed. She has said that she could have availability for 2 July dates, that's the 11th and the 18th, to help with logistics, but that she would not be available to help run it at this late stage. Should members wish to progress this, then a short working discussion between the council and us and any other interested parties would be a way forward. So thank you very much. One other thing, with your indulgence, Chair, is that we wondered whether the parish council might welcome a future conversation about whether there's any potential light touch practical support with the parish scene magazine, fully recognising that it remains a parish council publication, and if there is any interest, we'd be happy to explore it at a later date.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think there was another member that wanted to speak.
With Kathy, Martin and I with Kathy.
Yep, sorry, Kevin Monk, Chair of the Board of Trustees of the Scouts. And there's quite a few new councillors in the council. And we have 2 items on the agenda, 14 and 15, if I remember rightly. Both been on the agenda or an open action for quite some time. 15 in particular, it's now 3 years since we started the conversation around the action point. I'm here to provide support, context, any background questions that councillors may or may not have on those 2 items, if permitted to respond when we get to those. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. So, councillors, are there any people that want to raise any questions or comments or clarification from any of the comments that have been made by the members of the public on the several issues that have been raised?
We've got another hand up as well.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see. I'm sorry, I didn't see the hand in. Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I've got a few points to raise if possible. Firstly, on the precept agreed by this council. This council represents an 11.9% increase for next year, the second highest since 2020. The average increase since 2020 has been 5.4%, with the exception of last year, with obviously the calculation mistake on the spreadsheet. The reason that 2020 was, the last time was 12.2%, was that council was looking to do some large projects. 12,000 was put away for the removal of planters of the War Memorial Hall, and £20,000 was put away for the skate park equipment, £20,000 for play park equipment. Then council advised what big ticket items or expensive items are in the precept to have a more than 7% higher than normal years.
I think he's got some other questions. Sorry.
They need to relate to items on the agenda.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
Writing.
Yeah. Sorry. Thanks.
Sorry, I don't have to write in.
No.
I ask my question.
No, there's 2 things I think. Ian, that I think first of all the items that you're referring to need to be relevant to the agenda. Number 1. But if there's, you don't have to write the items in. But I think you said you had other questions as well. Are they relevant to the agenda, please?
They don't have to be relevant to the agenda.
Okay, fine. So if you've got other questions, if you'd like to raise those as well, then please.
Thank you. Second one's around the neighbourhood plan. I note that in the notes from the steering group that Wendy Wright has left the steering group, serving since March 22 and has been there for 4 years. I've not seen any way of thanks to Wendy publicised for the work she's carried out on the neighbourhood plan. The next point is the HRA and SEA, which is Habitat Regulation Assessment and Strategic Environmental Assessment. you've asked Winchester to look at these, and after we have reached regulation 14, they have to be done before regulation 14. Another point is that you yourself announced that there was a Southern Water had called a meeting in Waterloo on the 30th of January. This is actually incorrect. It was called by Sir Bradman, who asked for Southern Water to attend. Can I also ask when the draft of the neighbourhood plan is to come before council? And thirdly on this, as you've had on the agenda tonight, so it is relevant, you've had two resignations. One I'm sorry to hear about is Councillor Selway, who resigned after a very short period. The second one regards to Councillor Bevan. I'm sure Councillor will agree that councillors must use their position, must not use their position to abuse members of the public verbally to anyone in a council meeting. This is unacceptable and is a breach of the Code of Conduct and the Nolan Principles of public life. I'm sure council will agree that the monitoring office, with the monitoring office, that there is no excuse for such behaviour, and council, and I thank council for its apology, although I didn't get one from Councillor Bevan.
Thank you, and noted.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
There was one other one. I asked for at the last. Sorry, Chair.
No, we're not.
Oh, sorry,
Are
carry on.
you running?
Yeah, please carry on.
Thank you. At the last full council meeting, I asked for when the questions for the extraordinary meeting that was held in the church hall were going to be answered.
Yep.
Do we know when those questions will be answered? The questions to do with financial irregularities and all sorts of things that were asked in that meeting.
Any other questions? Comments? Okay, so duly noted, thank you. And we've made some comments and we will get back in due course. Okay, thank you. Okay, did you get all those?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Any other, before I close the public session? No. Right, thank you. We'll move on from item 6 to item 7, to receive the minutes, reports and recommendations excuse me, and resolutions from the meeting below. In accordance with SO 12(c), the only minutes to receive by the council are those that we have been approved by the appropriate committee, and these can be found on the website. This is the planning meeting on the 19th of November 2025. Okay? Good. Thank you. Item 8, in the pack you would have received the district council reports. Thank you for the district councillors for sending the reports in. I won't be reading those out because we're conscious of time, but certainly we've received 2 reports from our county councillors and district councillors accordingly, so thank you for those.
They are available on the website already to
They are
view.
already, I was going to say, are they on the web?
Yep,
But well
they're
done,
already
efficient
there
as
against
always,
our
thank
agenda.
you. Okay, item 9, financials, orders for payment. To consider and approve the orders for payment, list 14. All invoices listed have been examined, verified and certified by the RFO to consider and approve. Do I have... Councillor Vickers?
I would just like it noted that I'm a little bit sort of perplexed over the £444 for a dishwasher for the pavilion. I think in terms of prudency, it's excessive. Can't say it. You know, we don't know that we're saying that the pavilion is not for us. I understand it's for the preschool, but why are we purchasing £444 dishwashers for the preschool?
Okay.
So I would like it noted that I wouldn't have agreed that thing, and
Right.
I was hoping in future we are consulted when big expenditure like that is made.
That is not a requirement of council.
Okay. But I would like it noted.
Okay, that's noted. That's fine, Councillor Vickers, thank you. Are there any other comments with regards to the orders of payment to consider and approve before we have a show of hands for those, please? You've all had a chance to read that. I know that's in the pack, so hopefully you've other than Councillor Vickers on that particular point? Is there anything specifically? Oh, sorry, Councillor Clay?
No, if there's nothing further, I'm happy to approve.
Yeah.
Those will be to approve.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a seconder for that? Yeah, Councillor Carson seconded. Okay, great. Can we have a show of hands, please, for the approval for that? Yeah. I think that's
Thank you, unanimous.
everyone, yeah, okay, except for, I think, Councillor Vickers, I think.
No, Councillor
Yeah.
Vickers put her hand up. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you very much.
And of course it noted.
No, that's fine. Thank you, Councillor Vickers. Okay. Let's sign those.
Yeah.
Each page, yeah. Yeah, I know. I had to get a stamp. 62. Those on that one.
Yep, that's fine.
Thank you. Item 2 on the financial was to receive a thank you for the support and grant for 2026. We received an email from the lunch club at the old school on the 17th of December. So that's just to share with everybody. And also we received a postcard of thanks from the Home Start in Hampshire as well, to thank for the grant. So that's to note and to share with all. Thank you. Item 10. Reports from the parish representation on other bodies and organisations. For the benefit of the new councillors, that I know this is the first full council that some of you have actually enjoyed or enjoying, this is an opportunity whereby some of the councillors are representatives as like a liaison party or liaison group for some of those functions within the Denmead village. And as a result, the report is fed back by those liaison people for, in this case, the community centre or the least working party, the scout group, etc. Just for the benefit of the new councillors, just to share what this section's all about. So perhaps on the first item, Denmead Community Centre, it's either myself or Councillor Clay, but I mean, there hasn't been too much actually, because I know that the last update was just before the Christmas. There was we obviously provided a gift for the annual, I think it was the raffle or the annual Christmas raffle thing, wasn't it? And whether you believe in luck or not, Councillor Clay was the winner of the first prize. So that was a pure fluke of luck, much to the horror and disgust of both Councillor Clay and probably the DCC. So well done, Councillor Clay, on there. In terms of other items on the DCC specifically, there is an item further on that we need to talk about, that talks about in terms of the plans going forward with the DCC, but that gets encapsulated with other items. There's an item on item 16, I think it is, on the minutes as well. So we'll cover that there. Feedback from the rest of the team is that everything seems to be going okay at the moment. I know that the chairman for the DCC, Rob Stark, is actually away. He's just had some major surgery and he's convalescing in Portugal in the better weather for the next 3 months as well, which is quite nice for him. There's nothing much else I can add to that, unless there is any from you, Councillor. No? Winchford District Association of Local Councils and Parishes. Anything from you, Councillor?
Not since the last meeting. The next meeting will be on the 2nd of February at Bishop's Walk and Jubilee Hall. So until then, there's no new updates.
2nd of February, okay. Hambledon District Welfare and Education Trust. There hasn't been anything. We have had, Clark, some communication. I think you have received it, or we requested it.
No, so we have had an email that has arrived today,
Oh, okay.
wishing a happy new year. I'm writing to you as chairman of Hambledon Denmead Welfare and Education Trust. Hopefully you're aware of our charity and our aims to support the villagers of Hambledon Denmead in need of support. The trustees are drawn from both villages and we have a representative from both parish councils as well. Previously, Kevin Andreoli represented Denmead Parish Council and he has stepped down, having resigned from the council. I believe Martin Clay has expressed an interest in supporting our charity, and I wondered if this has been discussed at the parish council, whether he or another person has stepped forward to join us. We usually have 2 meetings a year. and it pretty much says the next meeting
Okay.
is on the 21st of May this year.
21st of May is the
Yeah.
next one, right? Councillor Carson?
I wonder if, because I believe that this first arose because in actual fact Kevin Andrew was a trustee, and that may be how it came in front of Parish Council. I wonder if we would be better to consider that, not break all ties, but I don't really see the relevance of this as a need requiring parish council formal representatives, and perhaps we might want to consider that we advise the Education Trust that our doors are always open, but on an exception basis. If you wish to talk to us, please do, but we will cease having the formal council representation. I don't actually see it's giving particular value to either parties.
Well, I think the good news is we've got some communication now, which we've been looking for the last 3 or 4 months, which is good. And then, by the sounds of it, the proposal together was on the 21st of May. So, I mean, I think in the meantime, I think your point is reasonably valid, and then we need to evaluate whether or not we should continue with the representation relationship. But I think we should have that discussion and bring it back to make a final decision, I think.
So bring that back to next full council.
Next full council, yeah. I haven't had a chance to read the documents. So Councillor Clay? Sorry.
So that's right. Considering it only has 2 meetings a year, might it be worth us at least attending the first one in May to try and find out where we are, where we're at,
cool. Yeah.
and then feeding back there to council, perhaps then to make a decision whether or not we should continue there going forward.
Yeah. Okay.
Whether or not that wishes to be undertaken by a new councillor, other than myself, and this would be their opportunity to put their hand up and suggest going or put themselves forward at that meeting.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
If anyone would like to do it. So.
Thank you, Councillor Clay. Okay. So we've got. So was that a hand, Councillor Betts? No. Okay. Sorry. I thought there was a hand going on. Sorry.
Thursday, 21st of May at 7:30.
So perhaps we could socialise, because has everyone received that copy of that?
No, it's only literally coming today.
Oh, is it literally?
Yeah, literally
Okay.
this
So
afternoon.
let's have a think offline in terms of. I think your point's valid in terms of the next meeting, 21st, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that gives us some time in the meantime to evaluate the discussion and the value for them and for us and to move forward. But actually to show a presence on the 21st would be a good thing, just to sort of, even if it means that we ended that particular relationship. I don't know. But I haven't seen all the email yet.
No, I've just read it out.
Was it all of it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so my proposal will be that I'm happy to undergo that, unless any other councillor would like to join me, please let me know. Otherwise, if council is happy, then I will put myself forward for doing the
Thank you. That's
family
okay.
welfare.
Is that all okay? Do we?
If I'm available, I'll be happy to join you if you fancy. I need to check my diary.
Sure. Some way out still May, isn't
Somebody
it?
else wants to.
We don't
Probably
do
better
that one
than
out,
2
do we?
people always
Yeah.
anyway.
Okay, so we okay with that with a show of hands? Then? Is that a proposal? Sorry, was that proposed?
Yeah.
And was that a?
Council
Yeah.
wants to join me, she's happy
Okay,
to.
can we have a show of hands in favour of that proposal then, please? That looks unanimous, I think.
Yep.
Clark, thank you. Thank you, Councillor Clay. Thank you, Councillor Carson. Next, parish reps were for the Scout liaison. So, Councillor Clay and Stella. Is that something that?
Perhaps not so much to give at this current situation. I know we've got items agenda 14 and 15 coming up, so I think we're going to cover most of the updates that I will give now then. So if we should, if I can say that to them.
Okay, thank you. And the DPC lease working party, Councillor Clay and Berry.
At this current situation, no new updates.
No.
No.
And then finally, football club, Councillor Clay and Stallard, and bowling club, Clay and Stallard.
Demi Football Club, the only updates we have perhaps are those that we've recently had this evening regarding containers, posts, etc.
Storage, yeah.
We've managed to have a good conversation with the football club this evening prior to council coming in this evening. And we're going to gather some more information and feedback to council, perhaps at the next call.
Yep.
As for the bowling club, I note again it's coming up later on the agenda 21, so I shall give my update of it during that
Right.
item.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, item 11, parish rep on other bodies and organisations. To discuss and consider adding additional councillors to each party to allow meetings to take place promptly. To discuss and consider action. If the councillors allow me just to sort of preempt this with the reason this item's on the agenda is because, as you've just seen in the last update on section 10, the majority of those representations, except for the Hambledon and District and one, because that doesn't have any necessarily financial obligations towards Denby Parish, but the majority of other ones do, maybe less so Winchester District, that's more of an association of other parishes, but the other items on there, associations on there, do have an affiliation with Denby Parish in terms of some financials. One of the challenges we've had, and up until reasonably recently, we've only had a few councillors that have been able to be assigned to that. And as we know that only 2 councillors, or minimum of 2 councillors, should attend any particular session with any outside body, fortunate that in this case either Councillor Clay or Stallard or Berry or myself have been able to step in accordingly. However, due to pressures of work, commitments, medical hospitalisations or whatever else, it's not always possible to have 2 people, both of those people available, and if one drops out because of other arrangements, then that meeting doesn't happen, and it can't happen, and therefore it just gets pushed back, and in some cases gets pushed back a long time, as we well know, unfortunately. So the recommendation here, and just to put my views out there on section 11, and then we'll have an open discussion and consideration for action, would be to ask for a pool of councillors to take on the responsibilities for item 10 in those, basically the DCC, basically the Scouts Liaison, the football club and the bowling club, and the least working party as a whole. So any 2 of 4 or any 2 of 5 councillors could attend, and those councillors would provide the feedback back to the full council. That's the purpose of item 11 on the agenda, just for clarification purposes, so that we don't have to keep pushing meetings down the hill or down the road, just because one particular councillor cannot make it for whatever reason. Okay. Open it up for comments and discussions for the other councillors if there are any.
I think it's a good idea. I'm happy to go on Scouts.
I'd be happy with either Scouts or Borden Club, whatever. I don't know anything about the other ones. So
Sure. Okay.
I don't know anything about Leeds.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, councillor.
Councillor
Vickers, councillor Harrison, councillor Snellgrove.
To the Hambledon District Education Trust and possibly the least working party.
Okay. Yeah. Councillor Clay.
Chair, might I suggest we go through the items in order and perhaps ask the councillors then to raise their hand if they have an interest of joining that
absolutely.
Party?
Yeah. Unless there's any other suggestions, I'm happy to walk it through the top list, working from the top.
It'll be easy to record.
Easy to record. We'd like to make it easy, Joe. Right. So the Denby Community Centre, currently it's myself and Councillor Clay. Do we have any other? Councillor Betts, yeah, and Councillor Stallard. Yeah, there's 4, that's a good start. Yeah, thank you. Winchester District Association of Local Councillors in Southern Parishes. Currently, it is only Councillor Clay that is representing and attending that. I know sometimes, Joe, I think you as a clerk, attend occasionally as the parish clerk. Do we have any other volunteers for that particular item?
Sorry, Chair, just to let councillors
just
to let councillors know that there is sometimes some travel required to go to these meetings.
Well, for the Winchester one, you mean?
Yeah, they do take us quite some distance. I mean, the next one is only quite neighbouring at Bishop's Waltham, as I said previously, in February, but sometimes they do go further afield, so councillors will need to bear that in mind if you wish to join that.
That's a good point, thank you for clarifying. So, in terms...
Just for the newbies, Councillor Kay, could you just give us an overview of what that is, what it involves? I have no idea what the District Association and local councils do.
So that's the collections of all the local councillors. We all come together in a meeting, we discuss what's happening in our parishes and some concerns and issues, etc., that other parishes are addressing. it's just our opportunity to come together and look out for. Perhaps you could say NATO's equivalent council.
NATO's equivalent.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that called that before, but sounds interesting now. Sorry, Councillor Snellgrove.
How often do these meetings happen, take place?
Roughly about every 2 months. Roughly. So yeah, the last one was, I think it was November, I believe, that's what my diary. But it paused slightly for Christmas. So the next one will be February.
Okay, so do we have any volunteers for the Windsor and District one besides Councillor Clay, Councillor Snellgrove and Councillor Harrison? Anyone else? And then obviously we've got potentially yourself, Joe, as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good, thank you. Hambledon and District, we're going to take that off and have a look at the document and then get back to them on the 21st of May anyway, right?
No, we're attending that one, aren't
And we're attending the one on the 21st, yeah? Yeah. And then the next one was the Scouts liaison. So we've currently got Councillor Clay and Councillor Stallard. Yeah, so I think I saw 3 hands. I don't mind Councillor Vickers and Bowden and Councillor Carson, right?
If you're, that's
So,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine. I think
Yeah.
that's probably over.
5 is
I'll
fine.
step back.
Doesn't have to be a magic.
I'll step back.
Just
if
step-
it's
okay,
two
fine.
others.
Councillor Bowden and Councillor Vickers as well. Great.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, we're going to vote on it at the end
Yep.
anyway, so yeah.
The DPC Lease Working Party. Sorry? Oh, right. DPC. The DPC Lease Working Party, Clay and currently Barry. This is whereby the liaison group is specifically involved with anything that's got a lease that we have a responsibility for. So some of them we've already covered in some of these functions well, but there are leases that we have that we just need to, as a responsible owner of that
It's
lease.
sort of separate to the other parts, so it could be you're discussing something with the bowling club that is not linked to the lease. The lease, you will only be meeting up with these teams when it is to discuss an element of the lease.
Change of lease or
or
amendment
alterations,
or alterations,
or a new lease, or
so it's probably not every 2 months then. Hopefully not.
it seems a bit more at the minute, but but yeah, it's if and when.
If and when more than
All of those meetings are
Okay.
probably 70% are if and
So
when.
in terms of the DPC Lease Working Party, we currently got Councillor Clay and Councillor Berry. Do we have any other options or any other opportunity? Sorry, Councillor Stallard, yeah, and then Councillor Bolam. Oh, sorry, but Councillor Stallard, is that? Yeah, we can take 5. It's a pool of people we're going to take as long as it's 2. Yeah.
That's the objective, is to make sure.
Is to make sure we get covered. Absolutely. And then the final 2, excuse me, Denmead Football Club is currently Councillor Clay and Councillor Stallard. Do we have any other? Councillor Harrison and Councillor Carson, I think. Sorry?
Councillor Harrison's there. Didn't see your hand there. No.
Well, we've got 2, it's 4. That's okay, Deb.
4.
We have 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then finally the bowling club, Councillor Clay and Councillor Stallard currently. Do we have any other members that want to put forward for the bowling club? Well, I'm happy to do that. I'll put my hand up because I don't know anything about the bowling club, but I'm happy to help out on that one. Is there any other? No? No? Okay, well, we'll just stick with the 3 and we go from that for the time being. So we've made some changes there, recommendations. I probably need a proposal for all of that, if that's... So do I need to read that back out then? No? I think we're fairly familiar with what we just agreed. So are we comfortable with that as a proposal? Is that okay? Yeah? And a second for that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is that... Yeah?
It
We'll
was a
have a-
second or a shall we?
There's a vote. So a vote for that then, please, all of us. Thank you. I think we've got some clarity on that. That's good. So thank you for that. That's item 11 completed. Okay, item 12, Parish Office Working Party. To discuss and determine action on a working party to investigate all options available for the future of the parish offices. To discuss and determine action. Again, for the new councillors on the table in the room tonight, just a little bit of background and then we'll take time to discuss it in a bigger group. So the parish offices today are currently in the Ashland Pavilion. Okay, the registered offices and the original offices were at the DCC, Denmead Community Centre. Okay, we need to understand what are the long-term plans of the parish council. Where should they be in terms of their offices and facilities? Today, it seems like a very long-term temporary measure, and that may be the case going forward, don't know. So we needed to look at how we can develop a working party as such, to look at all avenues, all possibilities, and discuss and bring back to full council so that this whole group can review and make recommendations, and we can discuss at full council in the future, whether that's bringing it back next full council or 2 full councils time or whatever.
Sorry, Chair, can I just ask what the issues are around this?
But the issue is that we've got a temporary home currently in the Ashton Pavilion. That's the temporary home of the parish offices. So do we stay there, or do we go back to where we were?
Small, or what's the actual issue with where it is?
Well, we got. Sorry, Councillor Carson.
I guess that the issue is that it was only ever deemed as a temporary solution that has become best part of 3 years already, I think. The environment is not great, as you've seen yourself, and we currently have no strategy for fixing it. Would that be?
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. So we need a strategy. What's the plan? Is it next 12 months, 3 years, 5 years? Do we stay put? Don't know. So we just need somebody to double dip on it or double click on it to make sure that what we're doing is where we're staying is right or wrong, etc., etc. That was the purpose, to investigate and to bring it back and to involve as many people as possible. Obviously working closely with Joe and the team, because obviously that's their current offices facilities, but to understand what we've got and to bring it back, if that helps. Yeah. Okay. To discuss and determine action. Any other comments from any other councillors, please? Comments? Oh, sorry, Councillor.
Yeah, just a quick question. Do we actually understand what the requirements are?
It's a good question. I think we do, is the answer, but I think it's... Sorry, Councillor Carson? And I'll ask Jo to comment, because I think she's probably...
I guess that one of the main objectives setting out for the working party would be to understand exactly what is required in the current environment.
I think some people think they know what is required, but maybe we just need a bit...
Okay, that's fine.
Good question, though. Any other comments from any other councillors regarding item 12? Jo, is there anything you want to add to the comments that made so far, or is anything?
No, I think where they were talking about sort of urgency or anything like that, we have nowhere in either building to welcome residents.
Good point.
So we do need to consider, to me it is about our residents and what is right for them, what will work, what won't work, and at the moment we don't know what the possibilities are because it's not being researched in full.
Yeah.
And what we have as a council for funding
to
position.
So what we're looking for here, I think, is, as I said, to discuss and determination. So we're looking for almost like a project leader, if you will, or a programme manager or something like that to pick it up and work with as many councillors and staff as possible to evaluate what are the issues. Sorry, Councillor Carson, and then Councillor Bowden, sorry.
You're very aware, Chair, that I've been looking at this for a long time, and I certainly can't self-elect to take part in this, but I'd be very willing to take the very open and objective view that's required to actually bring back to Council what our possibilities and options are.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Carson. Councillor Bowden?
My view on this is before the work group is set up, there needs to be a September reference to govern what the actual ask is. Within that, that needs to set a scope of works, i.e. what is the gap analysis, what we currently have, what we aim to achieve, what is the capital that's available, what is the infrastructure available, what is the policy for the members of staff in terms of requirements, heat, all that sort of stuff. This can't be a sort of standard through, because we'll be 9 months down the line, we'll have loads of quotes which will be invalid because the quotes aren't good enough for 3 months. So this needs to be incredibly structured if you're going to do it at the pace of relevance. So maybe a workable term of reference, so those who are signing on to that working group know what they're getting themselves in for. And then 2, it needs that commitment, both from the staff in terms of their time to figure out what's needed, feedback from the village residents, as well as actually getting contractors in, quoted, and the works approved by this council time manner. Otherwise, it just won't work.
Good. Yeah.
So my proposal on this would simply be, the first thing that needs to happen is a terms of reference written and a gap analysis done.
Valid points. Yeah.
There has to be a terms of reference anyway.
Yeah.
We have to.
Good point. Are there any other comments or discussions on this particular item? Because we need to.
Can I ask how
So-
it's going to be set up? Do you have numbers of people that you think should be on it? Are the DCC involved in this?
No.
So
No,
it's just...
this is nothing to do with the
Okay.
DCC today. This is obviously, ultimately, potentially, if that was part of the solution, and if it is, I don't know, we don't know. If it were, then ultimately they would need to be involved sometime down the line. But at the moment, this is a Denby Parish Council action, as opposed to a DCC. No, I don't have any particular numbers in mind, Councillor Vickers. But I do think it needs to be obviously more than one individual. But I don't think it needs to be all 30 or 11 councillors either. Councillor Lewin and then Councillor Carson.
Is this, doesn't sound like this is a new issue. Has there been any work on this previously?
Sorry, are you going to answer the question? Or are you going to answer?
Do you know the answer?
There has been some work, yes. But I don't know how far it's got, and the reasons it's stalled in the past. However, it needs to be reignited with gusto. Sorry, Councillor Carson, you were going to raise a question. Were you answering the question?
No, I'm happy with your
Okay,
response
fine.
there.
Okay,
What
thanks.
what I was going to say, because the question about numbers, I mean, we have to have 3 as a minimum.
Okay.
Too big, and it will be more difficult, but it should be 3.
Okay. All right. Any other comment before we? Because I'm looking. Well, I say we need to look for some councillors to help drive this project, if that's okay. I think Councillor Carson, I think you were trying to self-elect yourself earlier, but you weren't self-elected. But
I was saying I was prepared.
You're prepared to stand for part of the 3 or whatever. Okay, that's fine. So thank you for that. Is there anyone else that wants to be part of the?
Before we get to that, some volunteering at that point, I think the first stage is to actually get those terms of reference agreed and actually define what the problem is, what we're trying to solve, and what time frame we're doing it. I think at that point that could be done almost completely separately to this, but I think it's an important first stage.
Would you be happy to help drive
I
some?
would be happy to help.
Sorry, was that a would or would not? Sorry.
I would be happy.
You would.
To help with this.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Councillor. Okay. So.
I would add one other bit on that as to why.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, was that? Sorry, was that? Okay. So we've got Councillor William. We've got Councillor Carson. Is that Councillor Harrison? Sorry.
Yeah, I'd be happy to help. The slight reservation, I don't know how much time I would spend in the next couple of months.
Understand. Okay. Thank you. And Councillor Snowborough.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Okay. I think we've got. Sorry, was that Councillor Bone? Sorry, was that?
Obviously, I will help as much as I can outside of.
Sure. Understand the work process. Yeah.
Commercial work.
Yeah. That's appreciated. Thank you.
I think it would be great to be able to refer back on things that we can perhaps get some clear answers. Yes.
Okay. So thank you. So that's a good discussion. So can I have a proposal then that we've got an initial working party that looks at scope of work or roles accordingly, that I think was referred to. And I think we had the 4
terms of reference will need to come back on the 25th of February anyway to be adopted by council.
Yeah. So that's the next full council. So we've got. Do I have a proposal for that from somebody? Yeah. Is that a proposal, Councillor Carson?
I propose we accept those who have volunteered to be part of the working party for the parish office project.
A seconder? Okay, we've got. Okay, can I put that to the vote, please? Everyone okay with that? Great. Thank you. Hopefully we see some progress for the next one. Thank you. Great. Okay. Neighbourhood plan update. Item 13 to receive an update from Councillor Ranger. Fairly timely. We had an update. So we had a steering group meeting last Monday this week, 2 days ago, first one of the year. There was a comment made earlier from the public in terms of one of the resignations, Wendy Wright, who resigned over the Christmas period. Big shame, and we have, I've personally sent her an email to thank her. We talked about it in the steering group yesterday, and we were discussing the progress in terms of where we are. We had a good hour's discussion with our consultant that we've employed for the neighbourhood plan update, a gentleman by the name of Stuart Todd. He spent an hour with us on the Teams call, went through 3 or 4 key items that are outstanding, of which he's now got the action to take the latest version of the plan that we've all had a chance to review and address the 3 issues that he raised with us on Monday, which he's committed to do by the 2nd of February. Okay, with the view that we will be in a position to bring it back to the full council either in the February or the March, depending on Stuart's availability, because a lot of it is governed around the consultant's availability. We haven't had a lot of luck, rightly or wrongly, and we've got another avenue to pursue now with Winchester in terms of getting feedback from a couple of people there regarding the various assessments. And there was a comment made from the public earlier in terms of the assessments that needed to be done either before, during or after. There is a mixed thought because we're getting conflicting information. Winchester say one thing, the consultant says something different, and other parishes have said something completely different. So surprise, surprise that we have a mismatch of information. The good news is that we can actually get to a position where the neighbourhood plan is ready to be submitted as a draft. We have to submit it to Winchester initially, and then depending on their findings and their comments, it will then come back to be ratified and confirmed by full council. And then we have an assessment, 2 assessments, of which only one looks like it needs to be factored in. And if I look at my notes from previous, there was a particular assessment in terms of the, there's an HI, there were 2 assessments. I don't have the note to hand, sorry. I don't have. There was a particular item, I can tell you the 3 items that the consultant was dealing with, which was a parking policy issue. There's a screening opinion report that needs to come out of Winchester, and there's the design village guide accordingly. There's also some changes to a policy called NE6, which is the flood risk policy, that has now been changed again since December, surprise, surprise, and that we've asked for the latest copies of that flood policy to be made available to all of the steering group members accordingly, as Stuart was supplying that probably today if I haven't caught up on email. So there are a couple of items still outstanding. It is getting closer. We expect it to be submitted. Winchester have informed us that they do not expect us to submit it until April anyway. That's the latest from Winchester. That was the latest. No worries. That was the latest from Winchester, but we think we'll be in a reasonable position before or by April to submit. The steering group as a whole, it's healthy in terms of participation and members of the public. Members of the public as well as councillors. Councillor Clay is on the steering group. I'm on the steering group. And we discussed on Monday, with the absence of Wendy right now, whether or not we needed to add more or less. And the decision was made to push it back until another couple of meetings to decide whether we need more attendance accordingly. I know there's some members of the room that will be quite keen to join, but we don't need them at this moment in time. So a lot of the action is on the consultant. We've paid for the consultant in advance. That was done last year, which is good. And we actually have the budget set aside for the assessments that have to be done by technical bodies. These 2 assessments are not cheap, somewhere in the order of £5,000 to £6,000 each, but we actually got the budget put aside for them accordingly. So that's the update. We are in an okay shape. Can we be better? Yes, but we're not. At the moment, I think Winchester's got other things to worry about as well as neighbourhood plans from various councils. So I'm okay with where we are. Could we be better? Yes. Could we be faster, quicker? Sure we can, but we're okay. Sorry, Councillor Carson.
So when you say we could be better, what does better.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, we're using a consultant that hasn't really worked with Winchester before, for example, right? And that's a challenge because knowing the people you're working with, some of the consultants know Winchester, some of these experts, consultants out there that develop neighbourhood plans. The consultant that we're using isn't familiar with many people in Winchester. Is that a good or a bad thing? Hindsight was a wonderful thing, but anyway, we got what we've got, so we're working. That's one example. Okay. So that's where we are. The updates of all the neighbourhood plan is on the website. Lucy has done a great job, by the way, Joe, so thank you for that. Lucy is the planning clerk, but also stepping up for the steering group. She's liaising with Stuart as well and driving the amendments accordingly. So everything, as much as it can be, is on the steering group, on the website under the steering group, including the new policies that are coming out that we should be receiving in terms of. There's a national parking policy, but Winchester don't have a parking policy apparently that is currently changed, and we're waiting for the amendments from Winchester. Again, another issue that we're waiting for Winchester on about the size and the dimensions of parkings, for example. And again, this is something that we keep going backwards and forwards with. So watch this space, but we haven't given up and we're still pursuing. Okay. Sorry, Councillor Carson.
And just to confirm, because I know that previously you had connected with portfolio holder, and you're still having that regular dialogue as required with Jackie Porter. Yeah?
Yep. Well, that's one of the reasons for Stonewall, because we don't get any response from Jackie. Okay. So we have to go above her.
Right.
So, and I've escalated that accordingly.
Great.
All right. That's the update. Okay. Thank you. Denmead Scouts, item 14, to receive an update from the clerk following solicitor's advice to discuss and agree on the consent for moving the fences to resite the bins, to discuss and agree.
Well, you'll be pleased to know, very pleased to know, that as trustees, Denmead Parish Council are trustees of the playing fields at charity, so as a landlord freeholder can do whatever it wants in terms of allowing the Scouts to move the fences around in order to recite the bins. All that they have recommended is that you simply send me an email requesting what you would like to be done, and I can approve that. Do you want to open up for it?
Well, bearing in mind, this is
let's talk about it first.
So just before I open it up to Kevin, I mean, I think just for the benefit of the new councillors, just to say, so there's been an ongoing discussion, shall we say, that's been, I think Kevin from the Scouts earlier mentioned it's been ongoing for a little while, and looks like we're getting to the conclusion area, potentially anyway, with regard to the article that Joe had just read out with regarding the solicitors. So we're getting particularly close. So that's the background in terms of the physical bins are not on, they're on different parts of the property than they should have been. That was the issue, right? So
but it's on your leased land.
Yes, it's on the leased land, yeah. So Councillor Carson?
I'd like to actually state that our major step forward in this was down to one of our newest councillors, Councillor Boland, so I'd like to thank you for that.
Okay. No, thank you, Councillor. Okay, so without any other comments, I'm going to open it up to the public, because I know that... Just going to... Sorry?
If I may, Chair, you already have a proposal for the work we'd like to be done.
Yep.
So unless you don't have that, Joe, I'm happy to send that again.
Yep.
Right.
So
could I ask you to send it? Because
I want to make sure we got...
As a separate item, because I know the communication tends to be quite...
So we'll send you that tomorrow.
Thank
so
you.
You'll get that tomorrow, and then you'll be able to send it back. Well, first of all, we haven't got to... We've got to go through the process of agreeing that as a council first. Sorry, Councillor Carson, and then we'll...
And in terms of when the work is actually done, I wonder if it would be sensible, acceptable, just for ticks in the boxes, that Sam does actually inspect that it's of a sufficiently robust solution.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we can inspect it.
It just gives us
okay. So,
ticks in the boxes.
If there's any other, sorry, Councillor Clay.
Well, I was just going to make the proposal.
Right, okay,
So I propose that we agree on the consent for moving the fence following the solicitor's input and.
I second it.
Just a moment.
Email inquiry, so.
That's a proposal. Yeah, sorry, hang on.
I need to ask for an amendment to that, and that we allow the Scouts to undertake that work. That was a separate piece, so I need to vote on my amendment.
Right, so the original proposal needs to be amended if to Councillor Carson's comment regarding the Scouts actually undertaking the work versus anyone else undertaking the work, I think is what you're referring to, correct?
So
yeah.
We need to vote on
So the first thing is that we have a show of hands in terms of the. Beg your pardon, sorry.
So my proposal was seconded, with Councillor Carson made an amendment. She would need a seconder for her amendment in order to be carried forward for consideration.
Okay, point. Okay, yeah, okay. So do we have a seconder then for Councillor Carson's comments in terms of, yep, thank you, Councillor Betts. Okay, right, so we have a show of hands, please, for the amendments accordingly, yeah?
For the proposal.
For the original proposal, yeah, is that, I can see, yep, that's the unanimous. Got there in the end. Okay, thank you. Okay, item 15, Denley Scouts. To receive an update from the clerk. Sorry,
Chair.
Sorry.
So we voted that we accepted Councillor Carson's amendment, but now we have to vote on my proposal.
I beg your pardon, I thought we had already done that, sorry. I beg your pardon, I'm sorry, my mistake. Sorry, that's... Yeah. So, in terms of the amendment we voted on for the changes to the scout bins for the Scouts to do the work, now we go back to the original proposal, correct? And that's now part of your proposal to include the amendment. Yeah? And you proposed it and Councillor Vickers had seconded it. Can we now have a show of hands, please, for the original proposal from Councillor Clay? Yep. Okay, fine. We've got a show of hands and we're okay there, Joe. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're done. So that's good. So thank you, Councillor Clay, for. Okay, now we go to item 15, which is to have received the update from the clerk following the meeting with Fields and Trust solicitor that Joe and I had on the 5th of January 2026 last week for a renewal of the lease and changes requested for the hire of the hut to discuss and consider next steps.
So, maybe laptop won't start.
Do you want to give up an update as to how that went? Because you've got a print somewhere, haven't you?
Yeah. Like that. I'll send out later.
Yeah.
No, it's not on. Item 15. Has anybody taken a print of item 15? No, just yeah. It's just the laptop's not starting. Thank you. Yeah. It came out later.
It came out.
It was emailed out a few days ago. Yeah. So we had a meeting on the 5th of January with the Fields and Trust solicitor to go back to some very basic background, what was in place, what we were looking for. I know I've put out to Kevin to arrange the next steps, so we're going to plan a meeting for that. Because the essence is we need to establish exactly what you want to put to the solicitor and to the Fields of Trust, because there are some amendments we do need to make. Some of the questions that have been brought up by the solicitor is to be able to sublet the facility to the preschool for weekdays between the hours of X and Y, which is what's in the policy, which is in what at the moment that we need something in our lease to state that. To be able to hire out the facilities for weekdays, evening, weekends, for clubs, parties, etc. They need more information into what those requirements look like, so we can request agreement from the Fields and Trust trustees before it's added to the new lease. To be able to include the existing concrete area around the back of the building for storage and fenced off area, on the basis that when the Scouts do decide to replace and rebuild the existing building, this area will need to be reverted back to the original field. The extended fencing that was agreed in 2017 by Fields and Trust needs to be amended in the new lease, requiring a surveyor and a change to land registry drawings before the new lease is drawn up by our solicitor. Any plans for redevelopment will only be granted by the Fields and Trust if the build is smaller or the same size and not bigger. The existing lease and new lease are the land only, so if the Scouts are going to request a new hut on a different piece of land, this would need agreement from Fields and Trust and a brand new lease for the new area. The next step is to agree for Denby Parish Council to meet with the Scouts to discuss those options that the solicitors have put to us.
Okay. So that's the summary of the meeting
that took place.
We had with the solicitor last week, with the Fields and Trust solicitor, and I think the action out of that I think you've already actioned already is the setting up the meeting with the Scouts to go through that anyway, right?
Yeah.
So that's just to bring everyone into speed. Okay. Any comments, discussions, anything else from any? Sorry, Councillor Carson.
Obviously, I'm sure you'll discuss this at your meeting, but I'd just kind of like to raise that when they say that any new building will only be granted if it's smaller or the same size and not bigger, to clarify if they mean footprint as opposed to height.
Sorry,
because if you look at the original plans from Crux.
Yeah. So that I think will get flushed out of the meeting that we have with the Scouts. No, that's fine. So I think we've got some of that background already. We just need to add the meeting with the Scouts to understand what it is that their roadmap looks like, and then bring that in, and then
we want to
end up having a discussion with the Fields and Trust solicitor with the Scouts accordingly, so that all three parties are on the same page, which would be great for the first time for a long time.
Unfortunately, the solicitor can't make a decision.
No.
It goes to the trustees for them to make a decision.
Yeah. So the action that was put on here for item 15 was to discuss and determine the action, right? So that's the update from the Fields and Trust solicitor that Joe and I attended a meeting with. The next action I would propose would be that we need to meet with the Scouts.
Well, I think the previous we were going to bring back was obviously the changes to the lease.
Changes to the lease, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the proposal for doing the lease changes, but the first step is to sit with the Scouts, understand, making sure that the solicitor and all parties are in alignment with what it is that everybody wants. I think that was the meeting that you've set up already, correct?
Well, I've requested it.
Oh, you've requested it. Okay, beg your pardon.
We haven't confirmed dates yet.
Okay, fine. So nearly there. Oh, Councillor Clay.
Yeah, my proposal would be that we facilitate a meeting between the working party with the Scouts and feedback what we've had from the update from the clerk this evening, and then bring it back to council at the next full meeting.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. The proposal. Was that a proposal?
Proposal.
Okay.
Yes. It was a meeting.
Yeah. Do we have a seconder for that proposal, please? Okay. Thank you, Councillor Stallard. Okay. Okay. All right. All those in favour then for that step of the process, please? Yep. That's a. Yep. We've got a show of hands, right?
Yep.
Good. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Thank you for that. Hopefully we'll see some progress in terms of one of those areas soon, right? Item 16, Denby Community Centre. To discuss and consider an update from the Denby Community Centre regarding the erection of non-permanent fencing for Denmead Greening, minute reference 044/26C, to discuss and consider action. I think in your packs you would have received an article, or an item, sorry, regarding item 16. It's referring to user agreement.
Do you want a copy?
Any comments that we want to discuss here? Sorry, Councillor Vickers.
I read through it and I thought it was really clear and really quite concise. Well, there's quite a lot of words. I can't say it's concise, but I think it was very full, and I think we covered everything. So I think it's perfectly clear what is expected, what is going to happen, hopefully, and what everybody wants. So,
Okay, thank you, Councillor Vickers. Any other? Sorry, Councillor Carson.
Yeah, I mean, it's another one that we've kicked
Yep.
about, and it's been pushed back and pushed back. Not all our responsibility on that. It's come back now to what the basic understanding of the community garden was, and I see absolutely no reason for us to delay this any longer.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments before we? Any other comments quickly? No? Okay. So, Councillor Clay?
I share the views and opinions of my fellow councillors. Greening are obviously happy with what they've proposed. DCC are happy, they have no trouble. So if council is of the same mindset, myself and Councillor Carson and Councillor Vickers, I see no problem with this neither, so I believe we should move this forward.
Okay.
Is that a proposal, Councillor Clay?
I was going to say, is that a
I can turn
proposal?
it into a proposal,
Yeah,
and
okay.
I support it.
Okay, and there was a seconded from Councillor Carson. Sorry, Councillor Vickers?
Oh no, I'm just voting.
Yeah.
Show of hands.
Okay, can we have a show of hands then, please, on the proposal and seconded? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Great.
I look forward to
support
collecting
that.
my flowers.
Yeah, I just want to. So I think it's important. So this is we got there in the end in terms of the greening. So I think, yeah, thank you for your patience, and we got there in the end, and appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing the fruits of your labours. Yeah. So thank you.
Hopefully be in the next parish scene or something.
So thank you. Okay, right, moving on, sorry. We have a busy agenda today, sorry. Item 16, that's finished, so that's okay, right?
Yep.
So 17, Denmead Daycare. To discuss and agree the annual licence fee increase for Denmead Daycare as per the licence agreement for the 1st of April 2026. To discuss and agree. So in your pack you have a document that was provided for item 17 in terms of the licence agreements. I think the two things to call out here for the Denmead Daycare is that there is a contractual increase amount. Thank you. There is a contractual increase amount that should be no more than 5% at reasonable market rate. Number one. And second, FYI to the councillors that are relatively new to this committee, the Denmead Daycare also pay 50% of the utilities bills, gas, electric, water, as well as. And that isn't planning on changing. So the 50% stays as is for gas, water, electric. But the question on the table is whether or not there should be a change for the licence fee for the year from where it was this year to where it could be for next year. Okay, that's the proposal. Okay, sorry, Councillor Carson.
Have we already set any precedents in this with any other licence holders? I
don't think we have.
So yes, we have done an increase of 3.8% for but they are the 3.8%
for who? Sorry.
For any of our committee, any of our licences, yeah,
Well, then,
yeah.
Yeah. So
But their funding is very different, so that's what you need to consider.
Yeah, because their funding is different. Although that precedent for the other groups was 3.8. But they don't pay a percentage of their utility bills, for example.
Right, that's what I wanted to understand what the difference was.
So,
What did we raise last year? I know we had a lot of difficulties last year overall with setting things up. Anybody remember what we charged last year?
don't have that to hand, I'm afraid.
I can't.
So we have the ability to go no more than 5%, and they will continue to cover their utility cost accordingly.
And the second page is actually their monthly bill.
Yeah, so that's a monthly bill, as you see on the back, which is the 1527.56, which includes the VAT. So we have the ability to increase it. Sorry, Councillor Clay, sorry.
So I am of the mind frame to actually consider the 5%. For all councillors that might not be aware, they are a business, where other groups perhaps are community, charities, etc. So with that in mind, I would be minded to do a 5%.
Okay.
Councillor Bolam had.
Councillor Bolam, thank you.
I've got two questions. Why would we not go in line with IPR, in line with other commercial uses that are around? facility in the village. If you press too high on hill, do they pay business rates?
Mm-hmm. So you said you had two questions. Sorry.
Yes, the first one is why aren't we using the RPI,
Right.
which is a standard commercial
Yeah.
measure, and there can be no argument or pushback then from the tenant.
Mhm.
And the other one is, do you know whether they pay business rates as it stands, or do we pay business rates for the pavilion as a whole, and do they contribute to that?
So they pay, no, they don't, they only pay for half of utility bills and they won't pay separate. My understanding is they don't pay.
So do we as a council pay business rates for our building?
I can't tell you. But
Don't know the answer to the question, so maybe we need to, cancel
that could have the RFO question. Yeah.
Sorry, was there another question?
No. So, does the 50% charge on the utilities, is it paying for itself? Is their 50% paying for itself? Because do we have any handle on it? So our parish office, what we're saying is our parish office usage equals Demi daycare at 50% of the bill. Do we actually know whether they're...
Good question. I don't know whether Jenny or RFO would know. I don't know. So in other words, are we underwater with even 50% of the utility bills?
Or are we...
Overwater.
Yeah.
Whatever you can be. Yeah. Above water, sorry.
Does Councillor Boland know what the RPI is?
I'm just asking that. 3.8.
Sorry? 3.8. Yeah.
Which month the lease is signed on, what the lease should say in there, how the review mechanism will be, up to a maximum of 5%. So it's quickly workable out.
It's the licence fee start date is 1st of April. So, any other, Councillor Carson, I think, Councillor Clay, I don't know. Did you?
It's a difficult equation, a difficult number to reach, is against the income that we receive from the Demi daycare. What do they actually cost us? What's the gap?
Yeah.
And it's kind of difficult to make the decision on what to do with the licence increase when we don't really know if we're up or down.
Yeah. What you're saying is what's the P&L for the daycare, right? Sorry, Councillor Clay, then Boland, sorry.
So any decision you make, the increase will take effect on the 1st of April. I think we've got a small window here perhaps to go away and do some fact finding.
We have to give 3 months' notice.
We have to give 3 months' notice. I didn't know that.
Which is why it's come here, not FMP.
I don't think we're talking...
In which case we could have gone away and sourced some answers to some of the councillors' questions this evening, which could have helped us then made...
Sure, absolutely.
We have no way of knowing what they are using against what we are using.
They're not
Absolutely no, there's no way of
So
saying
Councillor
that.
Boland, sorry.
So if we're saying that it's the 1st of April and we've got to give 3 months' notice, if we baseline and whether we do it via an amendment to this lease or just exchange, that their rent increase yearly will be baselined off the RPI values of January, which is published on the 15th of February. That means every single year at that time it's a standard inline RPI increase. There's no comeback. There should be a schedule of condition on this licence, which highlights what the state of the building is at the start of the lease. Upon that, we should also be reviewing around the building, going, what's the damage they've done? There will be something within that lease, it's only one page, which has a responsibility on them to repair any damage. It shouldn't be the village to fund the cost of that.
Yeah.
So, regardless of what their licence fee is, they should be making good any damage, whether that's monetarily or getting their own contractors in to keep it in line with what the schedule of condition is. If there isn't one, then we should be doing a schedule of condition amendment to this.
Can I just my point? It's not predominantly for the daycare. It is hired out. It can be hired out in the evenings and weekends, and in the summer it is used by the cricket team.
But again, those things we should, when we hand over the keys to the building, there should be a start and finish.
Yeah. So
otherwise, we then
you make a fair point. I think actually.
We do have that in place.
Yeah, okay. So, Councillor Cost,
I mean, I don't, you know, we don't have separate metering if we're just looking at Denny daycare. We don't have separate metering. We can't really answer the question between the P&L.
We don't even have gas supply. It's oil.
So I think we've got to make a judgment call. And so what would the RPI have been in February?
3.8.
3.8.
So currently it's 3.8. The RPI figures for January, for this month,
come out on the 15th.
February 15th. But if you're saying we've got to give them 3 months' notice, then give them notice now that from this point onwards, it's always going to be an RPI and base RPI month to January.
Yeah.
At that point, we're not having this discussion this time next year.
Yeah. Okay. Councillor
I
Cost.
don't think you want to make a statement that says it will always be in line with the RPI because then
RPI
maybe
or 5%, whatever one you like.
Yeah, that's what it says in the
Whichever.
contract. That's what it says in the document, yeah? Sorry, Councillor.
Can I suggest that might be a high-risk strategy if we don't know where we are vis-à-vis the cost of the utilities? If we pin ourselves to that fixed RPI increase, we're kind of tying ourselves to whatever we are above or below water in terms of the utilities costs.
Yeah.
So I think it would be better to maintain freedom at least until we try and gather some more facts on that.
Didn't we say they're paying 50% of the utilities outright anyway?
And we don't know if they're using 50% of the utilities or whatever. They could be using 10% or 90%, I don't know.
That's not determined in the licence fee.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so point valid. Sorry, Councillor Coston.
So in a situation in whatever future exists, let's say that parish officers are not occupying the building, will we still be paying 50% of the utilities? Is that what we did previously? I don't think it was.
Don't know.
The 50% was only brought in 2025 after costings to the council were looked at in the early part of last year.
Right.
So it became part of this new licence that was signed at the 31st of January 2025.
Right.
And that is when the 50% of fees. Previous to that, they had never paid a penny towards the utilities. So it was agreed. So.
Okay. All right, so hang on, we've got Councillor Carson first, then Councillor Clay, then Vickers, sorry.
So, given we have just purchased a new dishwasher, there are ongoing maintenance things that we do incredibly regularly, whether that be unblocking sinks and so on, but it's quite a ongoing task for Sam popping down there. And the predominant user, I know the cricket club use it and the dishwasher for instance, but the main user is the nursery, the preschool.
Yeah.
And I would be tempted to be bold enough to say the RPI 3.8, the maximum is 5%. I would actually be bold enough to say 4%.
Okay, then Councillor, I think it was Councillor Vickers, then Councillor Clay.
No, it's
Councillor Clay, then Vickers, sorry.
Considering the financial implications the council just pointed out to us previously for years for them making payments, I propose that we go for the full amount, which is the 5%, which is stated here to increase will be fair and reasonable, and I think that 5%, considering track record, is fair. So I propose 5%.
I would agree. I think the preschool take a lot out of the pavilion. And I think it's a bold move, and I think there will be kickback. There was kickback from the 50% of the utilities. There always is with the preschool, we know that. But I would agree with you. I think they're a business. They put their fees up. I think it has to be in line. I think it's a bold move, and I think there will be kickback. And like you suggested, so the potential of losing the daycare, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, so Councillor Carson, then we'll go to.
So I think we had two proposals. One at 4%.
I think we've had a 4% and I think was yours. Your 4% was a proposal.
So you take the proposal
and then,
first.
Yeah.
That was made first, and people vote.
Yeah. Sorry.
So Councillor Carson did make a proposal, but it
Yes.
was seconded. I made a proposal of 5%, which was then seconded by Councillor
Yes,
Vickers.
agreed.
So
Yeah.
because a proposal has been made and seconded, we now have to hear that.
So we vote on that one first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So unless there's any other comments before we, sorry, Councillor Bowen.
Can I just make one comment in terms of, I'm just looking at this, this is a facility that people in the village use. That business, like many others, are going to be getting a huge increase to their wage bill as of the 1st of April. So to hire someone 21 years old on minimum wage will cost their business 40 grand a year before you add in any qualifications. That's the wages for the individual, the additional tax that the government's now taking, and additional national insurance.
Okay.
So there's a huge amount of pressure on businesses.
Yeah.
And are we happy to put an additional pressure on, which is only going to make us £76 more a month?
Point valid. Okay. We've got a proposal and I've got a seconder, so we need to put that to the vote, really. And then depending on that, then okay. So the proposal was a 5% increase, and that was proposed by Councillor Clay, and I think seconded by Councillor Vickers. Ignoring the utilities, because they stand at the 50%, which is anyway, that's part of the thing. But this is just on the licence fee as of April. Do we have a show of hands in favour of the 5%, please? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that is it? 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we've got 6. And those against?
Can I abstain?
So 4 against.
So the 6 carries it. Yeah. So it is a favour of 5% then, yeah? Okay.
Can that be noted in the minutes, please?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Can I just jot those names? Can you put your hand back up if you were against? Because I didn't.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 3. Oh, we missed it. Oh no, because Councillor Harrison abstained.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Okay, you all right?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that. 18. Terms of reference and delegation of authority to the Amenities Clerk to discuss and approve adoption of the changes to the Amenities Committee terms of reference and delegation of authority. These were approved at the Amenities meeting on the 12th of October 2025, minute reference 093/23C, to discuss and approve.
Just a question, what's changed?
I think it's what's in red on your print.
Mine doesn't.
In
So,
red.
no, I'm sure it was.
In red. In red.
Is it?
Yes. Section 6.2.3, Tim. Councillor, the other time. 6.23 and 6.24 and 8.1.
Definitely not red, but thank you for that.
Red on this one, sorry, I can't
Yeah.
answer your questions. Councillor Carson.
So the basis of this largely is that there's been a great tendency for everything to come onto committee that needs any level of decision making. And in actual fact, the committee clerk already has delegated authority to do a number of things that were coming onto committee. And so really, we're just underlining that and making the parish council more responsive by allowing our officers to do
A bit
what
more
they
agile.
already
Yeah.
can do.
And this is to
Joe, is that a fair summary?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't involved in discussions because it was part of the amenities.
Councillor Chris.
Councillor Clay.
So yeah, the changes in red, the changes were adopted at the Amenities Committee, so they've come to council now for approval and to ratify really.
Yeah.
So we'll go straight into the proposal that we ratify that decision made on the amenities and we approve that.
Seconded.
That was a second, that proposal was seconded. Are those in favour of that proposal? Yeah, I think you've got a full house there. Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
It might be an opportunity to let new councillors know that some decisions are made on other committees, but they need to come to full council too.
Good point. Yeah. And this is a good example of one of the amenities. The amenities have got the largest backlog of things to do, let's put it that way. So having no, in the nicest of ways, right? In the nicest of ways. And as a result, if we can free up some of the actions and the delays, etc., or block some of the blockages, so to speak, then this is one area that we can do that. So it just makes it more agile.
And which allows us to deliver to the parish quicker.
Yep, thank you. Okay. Item 19, Denmead Citizens of the Year. To discuss and agree on Denmead Parish Council Citizens of the Year and award to be presented. To discuss and agree action. Councillor Carson.
So, Denmead Citizen of the Year, Denmead Parish Council Citizen of the Year. So we agreed that. We agreed to bring back to full council to discuss who in this first year that we might like to put forward for that. In subsequent years, we'd be very much going out to the community for nominations to combine with our own views and so on. That for this first award, we might like to consider nominating somebody. When we first discussed it, we talked about it being a short-term nomination to the annual parish assembly. But I think as time's gone on, it probably would now be an award that keeps us going until the next. Otherwise, you're going to be awarding somebody something for a couple of months. No, it's not really fair. So yeah, I guess unsurprisingly, we all know the Happy Handmaker. I can't think of any better first recipient in launching this award.
Is that a proposal?
That's
okay.
That's all I really.
No, I want to open it up for further discussions and comments. Okay.
So.
Yeah, this is something that we've been discussing for a little while, so we just need to again bring it to conclusion one way or the other. Any other comments from any other councillors in terms of thoughts, ideas, or even indeed recommendations from other councillors in terms of potential recipients before we...
Have we actually gone out to the community and asked that question?
I think it would be a really nice thing to do, because I think Melody would get
a resolution needed
people, but I think it would be, everybody knows that. I was asking him the other day.
Oh, well done.
I've got multiple ones at home, but this is just because, and she's a very worthy cause. She does a lot for the community.
Yeah.
Well, not a cause, but she's a very worthy recipient. But I think putting it out to the village, everybody would say Melody, and I think it would just show that we're putting it out to the village.
Can we check our resolution from last time?
I'm nervous about this purely because of some of the stuff that's gone on in the past on social media, that there will be accusations of nepotism or favouritism or anything else like that if the decision's made in this council. So I think it has to be out to the village. It cannot be made on this board or this chairman. Your point about when you came on board, Chairman, about the thing that should be baked into every single decision that we make in this council is transparency to the public.
Agreed.
And if we make a decision like this, no matter how worthy the individual is, there will be those who call out favouritism or whatever, that someone knows someone. The village and everyone knows everyone.
That's very comment. Councillor Clay and Councillor Carson. Oh, sorry, Councillor Carson then Clay.
I'm quite happy with that. I think as Councillor Vickers says, I think it's a foregone conclusion who would get it this year anyway. I would be happy to scribe something and get the eye over it and
what to put it into Denmead scene, for example, and then ask the residents, or what?
Probably too late for Denmead scene now, but for something for social media to announce the award and to ask for the nominations.
Okay.
Can I make one comment?
Yeah,
I think this may go against our resolution.
Yeah, I think.
In the last 6 months, as I'm just going to try and have a look at what our resolution.
There was a past resolution, wasn't there? While you're doing that, Councillor Clay, you got a question?
I'll just wait for the resolution.
Oh, right,
I
okay,
thought we
sorry.
just accepted and we would bring it back to discuss.
I don't
That
know.
we accepted the
I think
principle of the Denmead Citizen,
Right.
Parish Council Citizen
think we
of the
do.
Year Award, and we will
Okay.
discuss later, but please do correct
I
us.
believe it was the one that we got co-opted onto the council on.
It was
the
October.
At the time.
It was in October.
It was
wasn't
October's meeting, yeah.
It was
That's
October's
what-
meeting, was it? Okay, are you going to
Well,
look at that? or
I'm
shall
trying
we
to look at it. It's
Okay. Just bear with us for
Yeah.
30 seconds. You've just called it up now anyway, so you've got it there.
The signal's not very good.
It's important to get this right, so.
Yeah.
Over your shoulder, excuse me. There you go.
Which date in October?
To discuss and consider Councillor Carson's report on starting a Denmead Citizen of the Year award, it was unanimously approved to undertake and go ahead with the Denmead Citizen of the Year award item to be added next week to agree on the first recipient and how future awards are decided.
There we go. Good catch.
To agree on the first recipient. So how do we get around?
And how we will do it in the future.
Well, I do just working out how you want to get through that. Then I to go back to Councillor Vickers and Councillor Bowman's comment. I do think that it should be a residence with.
I'm quite happy with that. How do we get around that resolution?
5 councillor motion.
Okay,
So that's
well,
what we need to do
let's
then.
do that.
Sorry. Hang on, sorry. So one at a time. Sorry, was it Councillor Bowman or Councillor Betts? Sorry.
I just wanted to hear the terminology of the last.
So it was unanimously approved to undertake and go ahead with the Denmead Citizen of the Year award. Item to be added to the next full calendar agenda to agree on the first recipient and how future awards are decided.
Our future awards are
So
decided.
we would decide on this
Mm-hmm.
one and then discuss the future ones.
Sorry, Councillor Betts, you had a question.
To agree with the first recipient, can we just say no first recipient? Because I think, to your point, I agree with the concerns, but it shouldn't be somebody who's nominated. I'd rather have no one and wait a year and then announce it and make a big fuss.
Councillor Harrison?
And we just agree that the first recipient would be whoever the community votes for.
All that.
Doesn't that get rid of it?
Ooh.
Councillor
Can
Craig,
we-
do you have a...
Yeah, it works. It works.
Sorry, just 1 second. Sorry, just 1 second. Sorry.
There's a possible few options we could do. The council could decide on the first recipient, which could be, for example, Melody, and the second part of the resolution is how we go forward with nominations. We can say that the council has decided on the first citizen award, and that going forward we would like the village and the community to be involved with how that is nominated. We could defer this item, we could do a 5 councillor motion. There are several options available.
Right.
Whichever one council feels
Mhm.
is best fits.
Councillor Carson?
I don't think there will be a single soul that would challenge our decision to give the award to the Happy Handmaker.
Probably not.
So on that, we're probably quite safe in terms of the concerns, especially if we then present in the same communication about our way forward.
Yeah, I firmly think that the validity of the person doesn't outweigh the transparency of the concerns.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We can't hold it for a year.
Well, then we need to.
So I think, so looking for some recommendations here in terms of either a recommendation or 5 council or whatever we need to change. So Councillor Clay, then Councillor Lewin.
Chair, are we in any rush to present this?
No, I mean, there's no timeline against it. I mean, there's, as far as I'm aware.
Considering some of the comments made, I would be of the mindset of perhaps defer this for the moment.
Defer, did you say?
I would defer it for the moment, yes.
Okay. Councillor Lewin?
I don't think deferring it gets you away from the problem first. But how do we overturn previous council decision?
There's a 5 councillor motion process within a period of time.
Within 6 months.
Within 6 months. So Councillor
Let
Carson?
me make a proposal that we have a 5 councillor motion to bring this back.
Okay. That's a proposal, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Bylam seconds that. Can we have a show of hands? Sorry, it was a five councillor motion to bring this topic back onto the table, right? So there's a proposal by Councillor Carson and then seconded by Councillor Bowman. Do we have a show of hands in favour of that five councillor motion for that? Yeah.
And then we can discuss the whole thing again.
And then we can start again. Yeah, agreed. That's the cleanest
Deal
way.
with the transparency and
Yep,
so on.
absolutely. Okay, thank you. Right. 19. 20. Summer party. Discuss and consider the council's plans for a summer party. DPC are holding a £5,000 to deliver this, to discuss and consider action. Comments welcome from councillors, please.
I think the summer party, is a good idea. I think it's an awful lot of work, and I think we've left it really quite low. So I think, yes, it's a good idea, but can it be delivered in any length of time now? Because I thought the lady that wasn't going to do it, now she's going to do it, so I'm a bit confused. What's changed?
All right. Councillor Clay, then Councillor Carson. Oh, sorry, was it? I see one.
Parish council cannot deliver a summer party on its own.
No.
Okay, we're not. I think we probably all realise that. I think we could explore the suggestion that the previous events organiser, it's only a could, so I just don't think we want to go near trying to attempt to do anything. I think I would like to see us discuss how we might hold discussions with other organisations who currently deliver things, like the Horticultural Society, for the annual show there, which last year we had no presence. We might discuss how we might support them in their annual event, and equally the perhaps engaging with the Scouts for their annual Dinosaur Derby. How would they even be interested in us offering some, I'm not saying the whole amount, but offering something that enhances their event, which we can also then attend, at least with our parish council stand.
Yeah, so currently the horticultural, the annual show will be the only real party or festival day, however you want to call it, which will be taking place this year due to the absence of the Denmead Parish Council not doing one. I will remind Council that we do have a budget set aside for £5,000 that is sitting there for us to use. We could do a low-key event perhaps on KVG rather than doing a full road closure. This will help support the event and make it more accessible, considering the time frame. I'm meeting the organiser Katie and myself next Tuesday, so I'm willing to touch base and put some feelers out and come back to council. I know that will delay it further. We've had a group representative here this evening, Neil Rushford, chair of the Denmead Village Association, who's willing to support, which I'm sure we'd be fully on board with. And it might be worth putting it out to the wider community to see if there's any other groups that were willing to come forward to make the summer party come a reality, which, as we know, every year is well received, well attended. So I think it will be a great loss if we don't at least do something more low key. That's my comments. And the council to consider.
So Councillor Vickers, then Councillor Carson.
I think it has
Oh, sorry, Councillor Carson.
I applaud your enthusiasm, Councillor Clay.
Good. Councillor Vickers. Oh, sorry. sorry, Joke. Okay.
It is, June is 5 months away. You cannot drag this out. Excuse me. You cannot. I really implore you not to, in your enthusiasm, drag this council into trying to arrange a summer party.
Okay.
We are struggling with what we do already. We have a lot of new members who are stepping up fantastically, and our staff. It's a as far as I'm concerned, it's a non-starter. But I would like to see us interlock, offer to Dinosaur Derby,
or whatever, yeah.
Horticultural Society, low key. They organise
Okay.
it. We offer something,
Okay,
but we
thanks.
don't organise it.
Okay, Councillor Vickers.
I you know, I want it on record that the organisers didn't want to be part of it. Now all of a sudden it's, you know, it's coming forward, and I question that, and
So,
I would like to see some sort of, in the future, some combination of all three. So there's like a little Denmead festival, which everybody loves the festival, and we've got, like, you know, the fields and all of that to do it. But I do take Councillor Carson's view. In 5 months, it's nothing really. We haven't got any. It could be an unmitigated disaster with a lot of funds attached to it. I don't know.
Okay.
This council's come up with a solution.
well, I think your comments are valid, but I think to Councillor Clay's point, if he's already meeting with, I think you said you're already meeting with the organisers.
But she can't exit. She can't.
Hang on, just finish a second, please.
Sorry.
So if Councillor Clay is already planning on meeting with, I think Katie, the lady's name is, for next week, I think you mentioned, then I would propose, I would suggest that meeting carry on, because if it's a lower key event, for whatever reason that could be, and she and whoever other groups have got ideas about how something could happen, whether it's in June, July, August or whatever, depending on timeframes, let's not get hung up about the timescales per se until we know how big the problem is. And if it's too big an issue, then we have to push it back. But if the organisers themselves think it's doable, then we need to take that on board, I would suggest. That would be my comment, but that's just a comment, not a proposal. Okay, Councillor Carson, then Clay.
Let's get hung up about the timescales. Planning for something like this happens after they've had a week off from the last one. It starts about a year before. Same as Denmead Scene needs to start as soon as it's gone out. It's exactly the same, it's just much, much bigger. Councillor Clay's outlined that he's going to be meeting with Katie. So that will get brought back at a future council meeting. This is
No, your point's valid.
it totally. We don't have the bandwidth. It does have the potential to create a huge amount of workload when we're also trying to get the neighbourhood plan done and many other projects. Costs a lot of money,
Right.
and as Councillor Vickers said, and I agree with her, could be an unmitigated PR disaster.
All right, so in terms of to discuss and consider action, are there any other comments on any other? Sorry, Councillor Bowen?
Can I just ask, other than the timescale and the cost, what is the complexity of this? What's the bit that's going to take so long?
Any? Oh, Councillor Clay?
So the budget is set aside for us to use, and we engage with Katie, our organiser, and she is the one who's the driving force behind organising our parties, etc. Joe has been involved in the meetings before, so you can explain that before Councillor Langford Smith would attend, Councillor Andrioli perhaps attended. It was only a small number of councillors that took part in organising it. It didn't involve every councillor, and really we lent on the shoulders of Katie. So perhaps if I meet with Katie next Tuesday and present it to her, if she says it's doable, I can come back to council via email if you're happy for that to be an option. If she says no, then perhaps that's a done deal. But it's really up to the organiser, because we don't actually organise ourselves.
Okay.
So,
And it would have to be a much smaller event because of cost-wise, because obviously previously it was a lot more money.
Agreed.
A small summer fete or something on KG Field, just to do a profile. If she believes it's undoable, then I think that would be our answer. That's just my thoughts.
Councillor Boland and Councillor Carson.
So, with regards to the funds of £5,000, is there any scope in that to look for sponsorship from local businesses?
I don't know is the answer. So I don't know is the answer, but I mean, everything needs to be looked at, I would suggest. I mean, that's an opportunity, but I don't know whether that's a yes or a no for definite. So don't know is the answer, Councillor Bolam. Councillor Carson, you had a question?
Again, it's been commented, but I'm going to say again, Katie was absolutely adamant she was not going to be doing this. Adamant.
But she's obviously
okay.
change.
If she's decided that she's going to potentially, I don't know.
Well, let's. Sorry, go on.
Has she indicated to you that she is interested? And even then, I would still be against it. But I don't know. She was adamant, and that creates a huge risk if somebody's gone from being adamant they weren't going to do it to now, oh, they might. I think that's a risk factor. To deliver a small, minor, insignificant event costing money and time, I'd rather we just integrated with another organisation, or indeed did nothing this year and did a much better event next year.
Okay, right. So, any comments? No? Right. So I suggest then have I got is that a proposal, by the way, or not? Was that a suggestion, by the way, Councillor Carson? I don't know.
That could be a proposal that I propose that we either integrate with another organisation such as Scouts or Horticultural Society or whatever, and that we do not do a show this year.
Okay.
And
do I have any?
Sorry,
Councillor Clark.
Would you be willing to open up a public session just to ask for clarification from the member of the public's comments earlier about Katie's availability?
I'd rather not, because we've got 2-3 items still to go, and it's getting late. I'm conscious of the hour. I think I'd make a proposal. Let me make a proposal. And my proposal would be, if you're meeting with Katie in the next few days, I can't remember, but Tuesday, so it's next week, have a discussion with Katie, please, and to establish, is it something that she thinks is doable or not, and then relay it back to this council on email. And then if it is doable, then we work out how we're going to do it from there onwards with her support. And if it's not doable, then we kick it into touch. That would be my proposal.
I therefore second that.
Yeah,
so can we... easier before this week to fair this to the next council?
No. I was thinking that Councillor Bowman. No, I think that we should exercise. We've had a member of the public talk about an opportunity to get it together for whatever reason for this evening, which is great. You've already got an opportunity to meet with Katie, I think, Councillor Clay, early in the next few days. Let's just see if she, the organiser, is the person to organise it and it makes it doable, then we'd be silly to push that into the long grass, I think. However, we don't know that until we've had the discussion with Katie, and that's 3 days away or 4 days away. So have the discussion and bring it back to the full council. That would be my suggestion. That would be my proposal, sorry.
I therefore second that.
Right, okay. In that case, can I have a vote on the...
Can you go recap the proposal,
yes.
please?
The proposal is, Councillor Clay is meeting with the events organiser in the next few days. That events organiser and Councillor Clay can she organise on short notice between now and sometime later this year, can she help us make this happen, yes or no? If the answer is yes, we bring it back and decide what we're going to do. If the answer is no, we push it away.
So your proposal, how are you bringing it back to full council?
Through an email, I think Councillor Clay suggested. Yeah? Okay. Yeah? That was what I thought he said. I thought I heard him say.
That's fine, but it was your proposal.
I beg, but my proposal is brings it back through email, as opposed to wait till the next full council.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the proposal, and I think you seconded that. So I wanted... Sorry?
I wanted to comment that it concerns me slightly that there's been discussions taking place with Katie about the summer party that we hadn't agreed to discuss with Katie.
I don't know what's been discussed.
We have to be careful what we're doing.
Yeah. But we've had a member of the public as well talking about the opportunities of getting the different groups together, so I think that was important. So, Councillor Vickers?
I agree with Councillor Garson. I think some discussion has been had outside of this meeting with Katie, and that should have been, because the red flag for me is that Katie said no, and she's always said no, and she's been very clear. So the red flag for me is why she's coming back on board, and so I guess we go to a vote, but that for me is quite a red flag.
Okay, that's fine. So, Councillor?
Sorry, just a quick clarification. So this will come back to full council via an email, but we won't be able to make a decision until the next meeting?
No, the proposal, I should say, was that the meeting would be happening between Councillor Clay and the organiser to see whether or not it can be achieved. And if the answer is yes, it could be achieved, then that's
So you may need to add a vote to it.
So accept any proposal if the organiser makes one. Is that it? So
sorry.
So just clarify, so we come back and the organiser says they can do something.
Yeah, then it needs to come back as a full council, not on an email.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the bit. Yeah. At the moment, we need to get past first base.
Sure.
Is it on or is it off? And if the organiser thinks it's not available and not doable, then there's no point bringing anything back to the full council, in my opinion. So, Councillor Carson.
So I'm not sure on the proposals. I mean, I know there's a secondary proposal, but I would propose that the parish council does not hold its own summer party this year. So yours has to be voted on first.
Right, so let's go back to the table then. The proposal is that my proposal was that Councillor Clay meets with the events organiser, Katie, in the next few days to establish whether or not it's achievable to do anything at all this year in terms of a summer party. And if it is, then that has to come back in a full council mode. That was the proposal. Do I have a seconder for that?
You already had a
Clay?
second.
Yeah. Okay, do we have a vote on that then, please? Do we have a show of hands on that basis? 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. And against, please? 2 against.
1, 2.
Okay.
So we've got one more.
Someone abstained.
I'll abstain.
Oh, you abstained. Okay, thank you, Councillor. Okay, thank you. So you've got an action to bring that back, all right? Okay, 9:30.
No, 10
Okay,
o'clock.
item 21, Bowling Club. To discuss and consider the follow-up to minute reference 085/26C for DPC lease working party councillors Clay and Berry to meet with the bowling club to discuss the licence requirements and bring the response back to full council to discuss and consider on the 14th of January 2026. To discuss and consider action, councillors Clay, councillor Berry. Do you want to give us an update, please?
So we had a meeting recently with the bowling club to discuss their lease and the provision of sale of alcohol. Just as an overview, the provision of a licence would create an important additional income stream for the club at a time when operating costs are rising, sponsorship is declining and grant opportunities are becoming increasingly limited. At present, the club relies almost entirely on membership subscriptions, donations and fundraising activities. Allowing the sale of alcohol will significantly enhance the club's ability to host and entertain guests within existing bowling leagues. It would also make the venue more attractive to touring sides and county-level competitions, both of which accept a certain standard of hospitality in which alcohol provision is a key component. The club
We won't come to your club and have a drink.
The club is at the beginning of a long-term development journey aimed at securing its financial sustainability. Recent improvements include refurbishment of the main hall and the installation of a new kitchen. Further plans, such as creating additional changing rooms, replacing ageing indoor seating, and investing in solar power will be progressed as finances and permissions allow this. Together, these improvements are designed to strengthen the club's appeal and encourage wider participation in the bowling community. The club already has experienced ex-publicans and professional personal licence holders, ensuring competent management of alcohol sales. A secure area is available for controlled storage and service, and the individuals who will be using the facility are exclusively of mature age. So therefore,
Thank you. Was that written by the bowling club by any chance? Was that by you, was it? No, I was just... Okay, thank you for the update. Councillor Berry.
One thing that came out of it, when you go to other bowling clubs, the other bowling clubs do have licences and do serve alcohol, so it looks, as they said, it looks bad on them when they don't serve alcohol, because most people then just disappear. There's no social talking or anything.
Sure. Okay, well, thank you for that. Councillor Carson?
I mean, the bowling club's been showing us that they're working very hard to sort of boost their bowling club profile. I mean, and as long as they're operating within the necessary licensing laws, they're a club, they're grown-ups, they're adults. I have no issue with it whatsoever.
Okay.
Can I bring one point? Because it wasn't put in the proposal. The reason why it went back out to the lease working party was the changes to the lease, and I know that a few councillors had questions about how they were going to run this licence. It's not included in the minutes because it wasn't part of the proposal, but that is why it went back out to the lease working party for them to discuss.
Right.
Were they going to lease it out, were they going to hire it out, and I think it was Councillor Betts. It was one of the requirements that you suggested.
Answered those questions.
yes, so it's solely going to be for, so it's solely for holding events, it catered around bowling, so it won't be for separate. It's all related to their competitions, their league, their membership, home and away games, membership meals, etc. Centred around bowling only.
Okay.
So no outside third party.
Yeah.
Rental.
So Councillor Bowen?
Is that then going to be explicitly in their conditions of use for the lease?
Just for them.
Just for the,
The next question I would have is, obviously the selling of alcohol is one thing. If they're then going to go in and put in a brewery system or something like that, where they've got keg beer, the quickest way they're going to do that is get a brewery to install it for free, but that then comes with certain conditions set upon that, as whether that's an allowable and superior lease, that they can basically write their own contracts to a supplier. It might create an obligation on us to maintain that licence if, for whatever reason, they stop becoming our tenant.
At current, there's no aim to be putting in pumps, if you will, or like a public house. It will just be sales from bottles, cans, if you will, but no pumping or pulling system. They've got no desire to have that implemented, so it will just be hands-free.
Okay, thanks.
Sales.
Oh, Councillor Carson?
So whilst there may be no intent to have a pump there, if it does expose us to any potential for having to continue some agreement with a brewery because the bowling club signed it and now they've gone, we do need to make sure that the lease...
That's covered in the lease. Yeah.
We need to make sure, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have... Sorry, Councillor.
Provision alone is just to allow the bowling club to sell alcohol from a bottle or wine or something that's brought in.
Right.
No pumping system and no third party engagement.
Got it.
Just solely for their purpose only.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other comments? Any? No. Okay. Any proposals? Do anyone want to make a proposal here? I mean, I would supporting the. Sorry, Councillor Carson.
I propose that we accept the requests.
Okay. Do I have a seconder on that? Yeah. Councillor, well, one of you, I don't mind.
I'll put Councillor Stallard
Stallard,
down.
yeah, okay, that was a second. So do we have a vote then, please, in those in favour of allowing the bowling club to
Well, it,
have a licence agreement, providing it sits within the normal licence agreements accordingly, yeah? Those in favour? Yeah. Those against? Those abstain? Thank you. Right. Good. Okay. Item 22. Councillor E-training. To discuss and agree on the requirement for councillors to complete the training supplied by QIC as part of the newly introduced Assertion 10, training and compliance. It's mandatory. If this is not completed, the council will not be able to confidently tick yes to Assertion 10, to agree on changes to the IT policy, to agree and discuss and agree action. The copy of the IT policy is item 22 in your packs. There is a copy here. Sorry, Councillor Lewin.
I'd like to observe that the IT policy is not compliant with the IT policy, because it's been sent out in Word as of most of the documents, whereas at the top of page 2 it should be in PDF.
Good point. All documents must be PDF. Yes.
so we're now insulting the clerk.
No.
We are.
But thank you for the clarification and thank you for the observation. As a matter of interest, for those of you that have not had a chance to do these e-trainings, I rattled them off a couple of days ago. A lot of them are fairly common sense, and a lot of them, if you are in business commercial worlds anyway, you'll be familiar with them in your own corporations. And for those of you who are not, it's fairly obvious in terms of it just helps us all refresh on what is phishing and not phishing and what's scamming and not scamming. It doesn't take up too much time. It's actually a good memory jogger, personally, and I think it's a good thing to do and that we should be doing anyway. The rest of the council will be out of line with the Assertion 10. Any other comments? Councillor Carson?
What you're trying to tell us all is do it.
I'm discussing and agreeing action.
Else we fail, or else we breach the AGAR section 10. So we kind of need to do that.
It is basically mandatory. Yeah.
I've never done that.
Okay. Any other comments? Oh, Councillor.
There is a way of tracking who's done it.
Oh
The
yeah.
clerk does, yeah.
QIC
The clerk does.
Yeah, QIC, the IT provider, and I think the clerk can track it as well.
So the,
Yeah, no, we need to do it.
We've got to do it.
Agree? Councillor Cade?
I propose that we undergo the training in earliest opportunity in our own availability. Those that are having trouble to access it at home perhaps can contact the clerk to provide a time where they can come into the office and undergo the training there.
Yeah, that's a proposal,
That's
is
my
it?
proposal.
Do I have a seconder? I have a seconder as well. Do we have a vote on that proposal then, please? All those in favour? That looks a unanimous, Clark.
yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay, just one second. So that's
Just got to
the
read the last bit.
22nd. Item 23, confidential report to pass a resolution in accordance with the Public Bodies (Admission to Meetings Act 1960) to exclude the public and press for discussion of a confidential report relating to the following. There are no item agendas to discuss in this confidential report. So, in that case, sorry.
The agenda, we didn't, I think on the agenda it's got social media.
No,
Okay, fine, I
no.
just wanted to make sure we...
So there are no agenda to discuss in the confidential session. So, it's closed. Thank you very much indeed, everybody, for your patience and support.